Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for you.
Well, we have, as you know, been seeing you walking around trying to quell fires as well, getting the South African National Defence Force involved in places like Alexander and in KZN. Just a brief sort of status update, if you may. How are things going right now?
Actually, Vuyo, it is very quiet. It is very quiet, and I think it's not so much the presence of the Defence Force which has made people to withdraw from the activities they were involved in. I think that the moment government came out, particularly the president, and really made an appeal to the people to say, look, this is unacceptable. And I think also, to be honest, the footage which came out with Sunday Times shook everybody. It traumatized everybody, because then, for instance, when I saw it, the first question I said was, is this who I am? Is this me? Is this a South African? It cannot be. I think that Vuyo, Judge Nqakula is correct. Right from the time when there was this destruction of statues, my view was that, look, South Africans, we need to talk.
There has to be a better way of handling this.
There has to be a better way of handling things. There has to be a dialogue. And I think there was once a dialogue which was organized by the Department of Arts and Culture. I think we need another one, and perhaps even take it to the different provinces and say, South Africans, let's engage in a dialogue. Let's talk. What is this anger all about? Truth of the matter, we went through a very difficult period when we were fighting for freedom in this country. We were subjected to a lot of violence, and in the process we too had to respond in a violent manner in order for us to get what we wanted. And perhaps those are the after effects of that period, and from where I come from, I've had discussions with a number of people who are former MK, for instance, ex-MK cadres. When we came back into the country after that conflict, we were never given the opportunity to go through a counseling process, a therapy, so psychosomatic stress therapy. We never did. And truth of the matter is that a number of people are harboring a lot of feelings, harboring a lot of scars, and perhaps just one small thing tends to spark something big. You know that I worked in the Department of Correctional Services. And the one thing that was striking to me, for instance, when I looked at the numbers of women in particular, was that almost all of the women behind our correctional facilities, the huge percentage, are women who have either murdered their husbands or partners, or conspired to, or they did something violent against somebody which relates to the husband or the spouse. And I used to wonder, what is this phenomenon? And therefore, I really believe that what is happening today is a manifestation of that anger. And I think South Africans, unfortunately, tend to take out this frustration. They take it out on the wrong people. If there are challenges of service delivery, you expect people to continue demonstrating in a peaceful manner, raise things, discuss, engage with councillors, engage with all of us who are public representatives, so that we can sort out those problems. You can't say because you don't have a house, therefore you will direct your anger at the foreign nationals. But Vuyo, there's another matter which South Africans need to be reminded about, which is that a number of people were allocated houses, and people then sell the houses to foreign nationals and then go to the back of the queue and say, I don't have a house. That is corruption. It is incorrect. So it's not as though there is something wrong, really very wrong, because even with crime, how many criminals who are foreigners are behind bars in South Africa? It's a small number. Yes, they are there. It's a small number. But some of the people who are behind bars, who have committed some of the worst crimes, the most gruesome crimes, are South Africans. So I'm just saying that I don't know who should facilitate this dialogue. It cannot be government. I believe that this is a societal responsibility to deal with the challenges which we have. I think civil society, religious group, from all groups, because also you hear people when they talk about issues of religion, you hear people talking about, for instance, we Christians. South African has diversity. It's a diversified country. We have different religion. So you can't therefore say because these people worship a particular religion and therefore, you have to treat them in a particular way. So I'm saying, Vuyo, in a nutshell, this day, this time, I'm sure the president will call on South Africans and foreign nationals in the country to say you've got to coexist. You have no choice on this one. People coexisted with us before in their own countries. Of course, it's not a matter I like to go back to, because I always feel that to say to people, look, they kept us in their countries, that's history. They did. The point is, it's about humanity. Singabantu. Why would you just pick up an axe, pick up a knife, pick up a firearm and simply go and shoot a harmless person, defenseless, who've done nothing to you?
Now, Minister, how do we then make sure that we do not drop the ball again? And the reason I'm asking this is because from an analytical point of view, we are not short of a proper analysis as to all the facts or the circumstances that have conspired to give us this undesirable situation we're finding ourselves in. But truth be told, that dialogue that was started by the Department of Arts and Culture never really went very far. Where we have instances, as you pointed out, of people who sold houses only to be in the streets again. There again, we know where the problem lies, where we know for a fact that South Africans are probably in the majority. They are the most people committing most of the crime. And that is a fact. So we know where the problems are. How are we going to ensure that we do not drop the ball this time around, having learned our lessons in 2008 right through up until now? How do we make sure that never again do we find ourselves in the situation we found ourselves in over the past couple of weeks?
Vuyo, what motivates me and what makes me keep going and really be optimistic that there will never be a repetition of what happened, it's because the president convened an indaba of various stakeholders together with government, where we engage South Africans in the first instance, just to listen, to hear what they have to say. What are the challenges? What do we do with the challenges? What solutions can we provide? And it was a very good and very constructive meeting. Following that, on Friday, I think, he then convened another one with now leaders of the different groups of foreign nationals in the country, from all over the country. Again there, what I found very interesting was you met a group of leaders who were not, it was not about you and us, us and them, no. It was about, President, we believe that this can be attended to in this particular way. And they too were raising the challenges they have in our communities, but also in addition actually provided for proposals for solutions.
But did you as the executive, for example, raise the kinds of issues that many people feel need to be raised with them? For example, there are companies that are being accused of hiring scab labor, ignoring our basic conditions of employment act. There are, mining, the mining industry as an example. It is supposed to have delivered on so many things which it hasn't delivered
I must say,
on.
Vuyo, that when the president opened that meeting, he was brutally frank about some of the things which have been raised by our people, as he was, encouraging them to engage. That is it, for instance, is A through, is B through. And what we've been doing as well now, we've been moving around to the various townships, different areas, and people are talking. So it's for us now to maintain the momentum, keep this dialogue between the foreigners and the foreign nationals and South Africans.
Minister, thank you very much. Minister Mapisa-Nqakula, the Minister of Defense. I wish we could have continued with that engagement. However, we are now, the President is here. He has already arrived, which signals the beginning of the formal part of this ceremony. The President will, in an hour's time or so, be delivering that keynote address, where, as the Minister said, he is expected to make that call once again for South Africans to rally behind the say no to xenophobia, stop xenophobia.